Leave it, Ijeoma. You don't. I'm tired of living in your shadow.
If anyone had told Nkem that her own sister would be the one to drag their entire town into darkness, she would have laughed and told them to stop watching Nollywood at night. But the night the forbidden calabash cracked open under her sister's hands, she learned something she would never forget for the rest of her life. Sometimes the biggest disasters don't come from enemies. They come from inside your own house. That night, as she stood barefoot in the middle of their street, dust rising on its own like somebody was sweeping the ground with invisible broom, voices shouting her family name, babies crying for no reason, older women tying their wrappers in fear, Nkem kept asking one question in her spirit. How did we get here? It all began inside their own parlor. The calabash had been there before she was born. From the day she could hold a broom and sweep the floor, she learned her mother's golden rule. It wasn't even a rule, it was a commandment. That calabash must never be touched. Their house was small, old rug, tiny TV, standing fans that only worked when NEPA remembered they existed, wedding photos on the wall that had tilted to the left so many times they just left it like that. In one corner of the parlor sat the thing that controlled the whole family's life, the calabash. Always wrapped in 2 faded Ankara wrappers and covered with small white lace. A tiny bottle of palm oil sat on top. A piece of chalk lay beside it. Even visitors avoided that corner. Even stray goats passing their veranda never entered that side. Their mother, Mama Iberi, spoke about it with the seriousness of a soldier giving final instruction before war. If your hand mistakenly touches that calabash, use that same hand to slap yourself before I slap you. Let nobody say they didn't hear. So Nkem, first daughter, responsible, calm, obedient, did not touch it, did not even go near it. But her younger sister Ijeoma was another spirit entirely. Where Nkem swallowed her questions, Ijeoma spit hers out. One day she asked, rolling her eyes like a stubborn goat, why would something be inside our parlor and we cannot touch it? Does it have 2 heads? Another day she said loudly, maybe Mama hides her money inside and she thinks we will steal it. Another time when Papa packed his bag and left the house because he said he was tired of living with Juju, Ijeoma muttered, maybe Papa is inside the calabash. Mama gave her one hot slap that day, not wicked slap, warning slap. Never use that calabash to joke. If you want to live long, close your mouth. But warning never cured curiosity. Nkem remembered the many nights Mama whispered in the parlor thinking they were sleeping. Her soft Igbo prayers floating through the darkness. Spirit, please rest. Do not remember old things. Do not wake. I have paid my debt. Sometimes Nkem pretended not to hear. Sometimes she held her pillow tighter. But Ijeoma, she hissed. That thing has taken Mama from us. Always praying, always acting like she's carrying our whole town on her head. What is inside that nonsense calabash safe? Nkem wished she had answers, but she only knew part of the story. 20 years before, their town had fallen into trouble. Land fight, sickness, strange deaths, lightning hitting 3 houses in one night. People said the gods were angry. The elders went to the shrine to beg for a solution. On that same night, Mama dreamt that an old man handed her a calabash wrapped in red cloth and said, carry this for 20 years. If it opens, you will understand the pain. Mama laughed it off until she reached the village square the next morning and the chief priest pointed at her. You are the chosen one. They tied red cloth on her waist, placed the clay calabash in front of her and gave her a vow. For 20 years, you will not open this calabash or allow anyone to open it. If this seal breaks, your blood and the blood of your children will pay. From that day, Mama carried a burden bigger than her marriage, bigger than her youth, bigger than her strength. Papa later left, neighbors laughed, children pointed, but Mama kept her vow. By the time Nkem was 20, the 20-year mark was drawing close. Mama became restless. She stood in front of the calabash, sometimes tears in her eyes. Mama, what will happen after 20 years? Nkem once asked. If I am still alive, I will carry it away from here, far from this house, far from both of you. That is all you need to know. But that all was not enough for Ijeoma, especially after Chike returned from Lagos. Before he left, he was just that small boy people sent to buy groundnuts. But Lagos sharpened him. When he came back, he had broad shoulders, neat beard, and that Lagos confidence that made girls smile and aunties nod in approval. He opened a phone shop, drove a second-hand Corolla, and started greeting people with chest high like a small politician. It didn't take long to see the person he was looking at. Nkem. From the first, "Good afternoon, Nkem," with that long-lasting smile, Ijeoma knew trouble had come. Because all her life, Nkem was the one that the world preferred. Nkem the brilliant, Nkem the respectful, Nkem the scholarship winner, Nkem the choir angel, Nkem the wife material, and now Nkem is the girl that Chike wanted. Jealousy began to eat Ijeoma quietly like termites eating chair legs. One evening, after Chike brought bread for the family, but spent the whole time talking to Nkem outside, Ijeoma entered the parlor. She stared at the calabash in the corner like someone staring at a rival. She muttered, "You have taken 20 years of Mama's life. Now you want to take mine too. No be me." That night, NEPA took light. Mama went for a vigil. The house was quiet. Although Nkem was reading in the room, Ijeoma sat alone in the parlor, staring at the calabash shadow dancing on the wall. One thought whispered, "What if Mama has been using this juju to control us?" Another followed, "If this thing is dangerous, how come nothing has happened in 20 years? A third voice said, "Maybe it is empty. Maybe we have been living with fear for nothing." Curiosity, anger, and jealousy mixed inside her like palm wine that had fermented too long. She called out, "Nkem." "What is it?" came the tired answer. "Come to the parlor." "I'm reading." "Okay, stay there." Her tone sharpened. That one pained Nkem. She came out. "What happened?"
"Look at this thing," Ijeoma said, pointing at the calabash. "Do you ever ask yourself why Mama chose that thing over our marriage, over Papa, over us?" "It is a sacrifice for the town," Nkem said quietly. "Sacrifice my foot," Ijeoma snapped. "I want to know what is inside, today." Nkem's heart jumped into her throat. "Don't touch it." "Or what? Will the spirit flog me? Calabash will grow legs?" Her beg shift. Nkem blocked her. "Ijeoma, I am begging you." "Oh, now you are begging? But when Chike is greeting you, you don't know how to beg. Madam perfect, Madam everybody loves you. My own life must be a joke, Abi." "Ijeoma, this is not about Chike. Stop it." But jealousy had entered and locked the door. "Move from there," she warned. "No." Then Ijeoma said the sentence that broke Nkem's heart into two. "If destruction comes to this house, it will not choose who is nice. It will carry all of us, so shift." Nkem felt something inside her snap. "Open it then," she shouted. "Open it and let the spirit use you to learn work." Those words, she regretted them even before they finished leaving her mouth. Ijeoma blinked, surprised at the outburst, then gave a small bitter laugh. "Thank you." She pushed her aside and unwrapped the first cloth. The air changed instantly. The parlor suddenly became colder, like someone opened the freezer. The lantern flame bent sideways. Even the silence felt alive. "Ije," Nkem whispered, fear squeezing her throat. But Ijeoma's hands were shaking for the first time. She unwrapped the second cloth, then the white lace, and the calabash appeared. Old clay, faded red symbols, wax-sealed lid, a red thread tied tightly around it. Ijeoma swallowed. "Let me prove to everyone that all this fear is useless." She pulled the red thread. It snapped. The lantern went off by itself. The entire room swallowed darkness. Then humming, low, vibrating, entering bone, crawling under skin. The humming rose, rose, rose until it became long wail, old, angry, hungry. The calabash lid flew upward, hit the ceiling, shattered into pieces. Wind exploded from inside the calabash. Wind inside locked room. Wind smelling like ancient grave, wet soil, old blood. Shadows spilled out. Not smoke, not darkness. Something in between. Something alive, something hungry. Nkem screamed, but no sound came out. Her legs failed. She crashed to the ground. Ijeoma stumbled backwards, eyes wide, mouth trembling. Then Mama burst into the doorway, breathless from running. "What have you done?" The shadow rushed towards her like he recognized her. It slammed into her chest. Mama flew backwards, struck the door frame and fell. "Mama!" they screamed. But the shadow didn't wait. It poured into the street like an angry flood. Outside, people started screaming immediately. The calabash cracked open clean down the middle. Their lives cracked with it. Umuoke town entered a night it would never forget. People said goats started talking, car engines turned on by themselves, babies woke up calling dead relatives' names, bells in the church rang without hands, dogs cried like humans, women confessed secrets they had buried 10 years ago, men accused each other of crimes they thought nobody knew about. A tall shadow passed houses, twisting, shape-shifting, humming. Lamps dimmed wherever it entered, children fainted, elders screamed ancient chants they didn't know they still remembered. By morning, the whole town gathered at the square, shaking, sweating and angry. Mama lay weak on a mat. Nkem held her. Ijeoma sat apart, eyes swollen, body trembling like rain-beaten chicken. The chief pointed at the calabash and said, "This woman carried our trouble for 20 years. Now trouble has woken. Tell us what we are facing."
Mama explained the spirits, the sins, the anger, the vow, the sacrifice. She told them the truth they were running from. "This spirit is not new evil," she said. "It is old evil you people buried instead of confessing. You fill that calabash with your lies, envy, curses, greed. My daughter only cracked the pot. You people filled it." People shifted in shame. Then the chief turned to Ijeoma. You opened it. What do you have to say?" Ijeoma stood, shaking like she was standing in cold water. "My name is Ijeoma," she said softly, voice breaking. "I opened it because I was jealous of my sister. I was angry. I felt forgotten. I felt like I was nothing. I am sorry. If punishment is coming, let it start with me." She dropped to her knees. Silence settled. Something in the air shifted, small but real. One man suddenly stepped forward. "My name is Okafor. I stole money during a land dispute. 2 men died because of lies I helped spread." Gasps. Another woman came forward. "I accused my neighbor falsely because I was jealous. Her daughter died soon after. My heart has been heavy since." Voices came from everywhere. One by one, secrets poured like rainwater from a broken roof. The old repentant song rose. "Chukubiko Zora Nijo." The wind calmed. The bells stopped. The humming faded. A soft breeze touched everyone like a cold hand wiping a hot forehead. Mama relaxed. Her breathing eased. Her eyes finally closed peacefully. The spirit had taken truth, not flesh. Days passed. The town slowly healed. No more shadows. No more voices in the wind. No more strange confessions. People still quarreled, yes, but they apologized quicker. They cursed less. They thought twice before lying. In Nkem's house, the corner where the calabash once sat remained empty, a sacred reminder. Sometimes, Nkem and Ijeoma sat there quietly, leaning on each other, healing slowly. One day, Nkem touched her sister's hand gently. "I shouldn't have shouted at you that night. I shouldn't have opened it," she whispered. "Jealousy is a small thing, but it can carry big disaster." Mama, listening from her bed, added softly, "Curiosity is not evil, but when you mix it with envy and disobedience, it becomes a knife." Children in the neighborhood often ask, "Auntie, is it true that one calabash almost finished this whole town?" Nkem would smile sadly.
Yes, but it was not the calabash. It was the things we buried inside our hearts. She would tap her chest. This is the real calabash. Guard it well. And when harmattan wind came again, carrying dust and dry leaves, this time it blew like normal wind. Normal life. Normal laughter. Normal peace. But Nkem never forgot the night she learned that the most dangerous things are not always the ones wrapped in cloth and kept in corners. Sometimes the real danger lives inside us. Jealousy can open what curiosity only shakes. And truth, no matter how painful, is the only thing strong enough to close what fear opens. So now I want to ask you something. If a secret calabash was kept in your own house, and one day the truth inside it broke loose, what would it reveal about you? Tell me in the comments.